Ashely, looking fantastic. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, I'm having a feel as though it's missing something in the back. I'm not sure how I feel about the negative space above the photo and biography paragraphs. I'm okay with it. I think the negative space is good. I think it's interesting. Let's reduce the size. You're talking about this area right here. I love it. I think it's a really nice introduction to the back of the poster. I mean, I've got a couple of issues with alignment. We'll talk about that in 1 second. But generally, I think you're looking great. So I'm not too worried about that negative space at all. Let's go back and see above the photo and the biography paragraphs near Ellie's name. We'll talk about that because I want to talk about, again, some alignment issues. I made some suggested changes to add old style figures. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oswald typeface, there is no open not an option. So you're saying that there's no open type capabilities there. In that case, that's Oswald. I think that is probably your timeline typeface. And that's okay. That's just fine. Don't worry about it. My main thing is that you understand what old style figures are and why they are used, why they are, um, in many cases, more appropriate than lining numerals, and most importantly, is how to access them. So really, really good to see your old style numerals there. But I'm okay with the timeline. That's great. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at. There's really no there's a way that you can kind of fake all caps, but it's really basically kind of impossible to fake old style numerals. So no worries at all there. But just my rag in a paragraph, that's great. They seem better than they were before. Yeah. Now you can come in here and manually rag this, and a lot of designers won't do this. And to be completely honest with you, the art of the rag is a dying art. We really see less and less attention to rags. So as a designer, I say let's pay attention to rags. Since many are not anymore, let's really pay attention. So one of the things you can do is manually rag these out. And so in some areas where that are problematic, um, I mean, you could simply take your cursor, place it right in front of that W, hold your shift key down, hit the return key, and see how things get redistributed. And you could do that manually through all of the type and really fine tune. And another trick, old school trick, is if you have a line that you just can't redistribute, you've done your um, formatting in InDesign or in Illustrator, you've adjusted everything you can, and you just can't get those rags right. What you can do is, let's say you have one line that's really short, you can actually go in there and increase the tracking of that line just to increase the width of the line a little bit. That helps. It's kind of a really an old school trick. Nonetheless, when you start getting into that kind of manually setting your regs, you can really get some fine tuning in there. But again, I think you're okay. There's one area really. I think there's actually two areas. This little swell right here, this shape, this whole shape right here, and this shape right here. And other than that, it's not bad. No, don't get me wrong. Your regs are not bad at all. I mean, I'm kind of nitpicking a little bit here just to emphasize the point. So I think your regs are okay. And the most important thing is it's your understanding regs. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at. Um, Good job. It looks like you had made some adjustments to the timeline as well, which I think looks fantastic. This is a good idea. Left aligning on the top of the timeline, right aligning on the bottom. Really neat. Looks great. So much better than stacking that type and trying to center align it. Um, technically, we do have some widows. Technically, that's a widow. That's a widow. You may consider pulling those up to the next line right there. But I don't really see it as a real problem because now because they are left aligned. So if these were center aligned and you had one word on the bottom, it just doesn't work. But left aligned with such minimal text, if there's a word on the bottom, that's okay. If you want to try to redistribute these so you don't have a single word on a line, that is technical. I mean, I'm okay with it, but a portfolio reviewer may call you on those regs, and a design professional may call you on those regs. It's really not that important, um, given that there is very limited text here on the timeline. Okay, I'm going to reduce size here a little bit, and let's jump up here because I want to. Okay, want to talk about alignment here. General alignment. Let's take a look at our right, left and right margin. So right now we've got this left margin here, but this right margin is a lot bigger, indicating that the whole grid is kind of shifted over. I think what is happening here is you're not aligning the timeline with the body copy of the image with the title. And I think we should do that. The first thing I would do is take this whole section, move it over to the right a little bit. Don't worry about your margins. The margins of the timeline can be completely separate than this. So if you want to move this over, these margins are fine right here. Looks like that's an equal margin for your timeline. Look, this timeline might even need to go to the left a little bit. Looks like that left margin might be a little bit wider than that right margin. At any rate, you want to even your margins out. Then what I would do is right now, this is just pushed over really far to the right. So it's neither aligning with the timeline or the body copy. Once we pull this over to even out your margins on the right and left, you can take this typographic composition with the date and pull it to the left a little bit just to bring it more in alignment with those rags. I would pick a rag that's got a medium width and align it on, I'm sorry, medium length, like right there with that books. And once you pull it over, just pick that line and align that. Then what you want to do is you want to just exactly how you have this configured, jump up here and check your margins from the top of the poster to the bottom. So in other words, once you set this margin, go ahead and set that margin to so once you set this right margin, once you get this body type set, this composition right here, just take that right margin and duplicate it right here so that you have equal right margins there. And then the same thing can be said right here. So you take that margin right there and just try to make sure that it equals that margin right there. Other than that, you are looking just fantastic, and I think this is just wonderful work. Really looking forward to seeing the final, and yeah, really nice job. All right, so if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. Thank you very much.